YouTube. Who was that? Did y'all hear that, or was it just me?
Yeah, that's like your hair.
I think there's a bitch on the line.
Yeah, there's a loud buzzing.
Well, I hear that. CJ! Dad. What? That was me that said that, if that's what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have that feedback.
Check.
There's no way to fix that?
No.
It's a little bit lower.
Check.
Check. Oh well, let's do it that way.
Oh, you got caught. You got caught. Hold on. There you go.
Power source that might.
You tried mic 1 and mic 2, I guess?
Oh, yeah. See how far out you can move that? Well, not very far. It's a short cord.
Short cord.
All right, can you speak to it?
Check. 1, 2. Check. Yeah, it's check.
Is that a
Check. Yeah, you can.
So right.
Yeah. Right
That's
there.
the lowest it can be.
Yeah, but now it's not. You can barely hear me.
Oh, wow, it's got more streets.
That's fine. It'll just be a...
We got static.
You know what? I know what you can do. I'll just use the bullhorn.
Oh, true. Yeah, good call.
Should we come over
Bullhorn's
here?
making a protest.
I have a
anyway.
backup for it.
Hey, CJ, should we move everybody over here so the banner is in the...
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Video.
Well, I was the only reason I turned everybody around was so they could be in the shade.
Well,
but
we can.
most of the people aren't even in the shade anyway.
If we're not using the speaker,
Chris,
we can
Put
swing
the
it.
banner
We
over
can just
here.
swing this
the
around.
bullhorn
Let's
out
come
of the
over
truck,
here.
out of the back of the
We'll
truck,
put
please.
CJ in front of the banner, and that way the banner gets on the videos also.
We can just swing it around, huh?
Well,
You're not
it's
gonna talk
zip tied in.
hours
Right,
in
but
the
it's.
sun,
I'm
right,
saying
CJ?
sun will be a good angle.
No, like
Yeah.
All right.
What's going on, man? How you?
3.5, you said?
2 hours.
We'll be in the sun, I guess we're problem solved, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Little
I'll
South
speak
Banner.
out this way. As soon as Chris is getting me the.
For a picture or just for talking?
All right, we got
Just
the
for
GoPro
talking.
there, Sadie's. We got a good angle on it.
So my way says we have a minder about a quarter-mile south of us.
A miner?
A minder.
Oh, a minder. Okay.
Yeah, we got somebody down there.
Yeah, they said they were gonna have somebody nearby just
yeah,
in case.
yeah.
Yeah, we got a bullhorn.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Rick, when did you sneak in, brother?
This guy here.
Damn.
Now, traffic. People wonder why I hate 35 in TxDOT.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad
It
you're
took
here.
forever to get out of San Antonio.
Rick, just
Good.
install
So-
any number. Why I hate, just install any number. In Texas.
Sir.
And you.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. You know what? I'm a first sergeant. I can talk to y'all.
You can talk.
You're pretty good.
If you cannot hear me, raise your hand.
You are not authorized to say hit the ground. He will be in your ear.
Yeah, watch out.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. It's funny, I was talking to the law enforcement because, as you know, in Open Carry, Texas, we will work with law enforcement, but we never ask for permission.
Right.
And that's because I always want to make sure of several things. One, that they know we're here. Two, that they respect what it is that we're going to be doing. Three, if something happens, they can respond quickly. And four, also to identify, who's who in the group. So what you'll notice, there are a couple people that are wearing yellow bandanas at somewhere on them. When we do these events, I come with a different color. I never know what color it's going to be. I choose the day of, and that's just so that there aren't any usurpers or people that try to come in and create problems for us. We have people who are sort of our overwatch, or they're fulfilling some sort of different role. So If you see somebody with a yellow bandana and it looks like they're sort of looking everywhere but here, that's one of the reasons. They're just making sure that...
Livestock guardian dogs.
There you go. Livestock guardian dogs. But the reason we're here is for Mr. Chad Summers, and we're at the park where Mr. Summers was brutally beaten, nearly murdered, and then arrested for crimes he didn't commit. And I'll just quickly, we had a trial a couple weeks ago. It wasn't my trial. It was another attorney that he had hired, but I was brought on as a consultant to help the attorney make sure he asked the right questions during trial, you know, in case we had to appeal. If there were, because I'm also retired law enforcement, if there were investigative missteps that I identified, I could say, hey, you need to ask them this. Why didn't they do this? Why did they do that? Because they should have known better. So I was just a consultant on the case, and the good news is we got a hung jury. The bad news is it looks like they're going to try it again.
Wow.
And so the purpose of this event here today is multifold. The first is to show support for Mr. Chad Summers. And I want to say when we shared the event with the local media and it was posted on social media in some of the local groups, who here's from Rockwall? Anybody here from? So we got one. I know there was someone else.
Three.
Okay. And it really disturbed me a little bit that a lot of the comments were about Mr. Summers' weight. As if your Second Amendment rights depend on your body fat index, your body fat mass index. As if your rights depend on how you're dressed. As your rights depend on what you look like, what kind of job you have, where you are, those kinds of things. So first of all, I was really hoping more people from Rockwall would kind of be here, but it's obvious that there's, except for the few exceptions here, Rockwall's got kind of this butter mentality. And what do I mean by that? Oh, I support the Second Amendment, but you shouldn't be walking with a gun through a park. I support the Second Amendment, but you shouldn't carry that kind of gun. I support the Second Amendment, but not when there's kids around. As if kids are any less worthy of protection.
You forgot it'll scare the kids,
Yeah. So
but only if they're trained.
that really kind of annoyed me. And it always pisses me off because they always start with, I'm an avid gun rights supporter, but, well, then you're not an avid gun rights supporter. I support the Second Amendment 100%, but...
It's 100%.
Well, that's not 100%.
Sorry.
Now, you can say something like, I support the Second Amendment 100% unless you're murdering somebody, but that's not what the Second Amendment's about. So that has nothing to do with it. I support the Second Amendment unless you're committing armed robbery. That's not what the Second Amendment's about. It's about the lawful keeping and bearing of arms. And there's two parts of that. The first is you have the right to keep, to have, to possess, to own, to purchase a firearm. But everybody seems to forget that second part, the bear part. To bear arms. You have a right to bear arms. What does that mean? That means to take the weight upon you, to support through, you know, holding. So you got holding, carrying, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't support somebody walking through a park, and I can tell you, that day, Chad Summers had a reason for carrying that gun, and the cops are lucky he didn't exercise his reasoning. Because the whole point of a firearm in the Second Amendment is to oppose tyranny. And exactly what happened at this field, or at this park, earlier this year, was tyranny. I also want to preface this with saying this protest is not against Rockwall PD. I've had a great relationship with Rockwall PD. The chief, when he found out about this, and I called and I wanted to let him know, because in open carry Texas, we always try to work with law enforcement. And so I always let him know what we're going to do. And every now and then you'll go, okay, well, just make sure you get a permit. Chief, I don't think you heard me correctly. We're having a protest.
We don't need no stinking.
We don't need no stinking permit.
Nope.
Now there is an ordinance here that if it's 500 people or more, it's what's called a mass event, and at that point, because of resources, it's reasonable to expect a permit. There are reasons when, or reasonable times when you should have a permit. For example, if I want to block off the road because I'm going to do a march, I need a permit because now I'm keeping other people from being able to use the road. So this isn't a protest against Rockwall PD. This is a protest against Rockwall Police Officer Doss. This is a protest against Rockwall Police Officer Krause. This is a protest against Rockwall Police Officer Stewart. Was it Stewart? Stewart. And this is a protest against Rockwall Police Officer Lawson. Thank you. I knew it was an L.
Big L.
Big L.
Yes.
Yes, big L.
That's who this is a protest against. Because what Chad Summers was doing that day is what many of us here are doing right this second. So if it was illegal back when he was arrested, it's illegal today. And I guarantee you we're not going to be getting arrested.
Nope.
And the chief even said we're not going to be getting arrested because he recognizes this is protected, what we're doing. Not only protected speech, but protected gun rights. And let me also tell you, because the video hasn't come out yet, I really tried to get that video out before today's rally, because I guarantee you, citizens of Rockwall, when you see this video, I hope you're as pissed off as I am. And all of the talk about what he was doing and, oh, he shouldn't have been doing this or he was doing that and this, you will see how absolutely corrupt that event was. So I'm going to go through it with you. Chad Summers on that day, and I can't remember exactly what day it was. It was like, I don't remember what day it was. He parks over here in the parking lot, just like all of us have parked. He grabs his rifle and his Gatorade, and he does 2 laps. He's already done 2 laps around this sidewalk. And the sidewalk just essentially encircles the park. I would guesstimate it's between a 1/4 mile and a 1/2 mile loop is what that is. So he's done, at least in my estimate, because I just went and walked it, at least a 1/4 mile or a 1/2 mile walk at this point. Anybody here named Karen? Okay. So Karen calls. That's not her real name. Karen calls the police and says, there's a guy with a gun out here. She says he's not pointing at anybody. He's not threatening anybody. But she's scared. By golly, she's scared. Now on the stand, and she doesn't say anything about illegal conduct. Just a man out here walking with his gun. Doesn't say a word about him waving it around. Doesn't say a word about him pointing at anybody. Nothing. And again, he's already done 2 laps. As a matter of fact, he stopped and pet some dogs. One of the people who was walking had some dogs, and they stopped and talked to him, and he's petting the dogs. There was a woman with a stroller that stopped and talked to him with a baby in a stroller. Yeah, that was scary. But yet this one woman who testified on the stand that she just finds guns scary. That she doesn't understand guns, she's never held a gun, and when she saw the gun, that's what she was afraid of. That's not what the law says. And so she even agreed on the stand, and this is, so I wasn't the attorney, by the way, in this case, all right? So I can talk about anything I want. I'm just a consultant in this case. However, he did just hire me to be co-defense for his next trial, so we're gonna win next time. And I'm not saying the other attorney did anything bad. It's just, you know, nobody knows the Second Amendment and Texas gun laws like I do, because I helped to write a lot of them along with Richard Briscoe over here.
Right.
Woohoo!
So on the stand, she even admits that her fear is irrational.
Sworn testimony.
This is sworn testimony that her fear is irrational. So here's what happened, and this is what the video shows. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't believe you until I see the video. Okay, don't believe me, I don't care. But this is the facts, and these were given in open court. It's approximately, so there's a bench over here. You can kind of see this little bench and trash can over here right off the trail, right? So when Chad gets to about that point, the officer pulls up here, and she starts trailing him. She says something to him, and he turns around, and she's like, hold on. He's like, no, you can come walk with me, but I ain't stopping unless I'm committing a crime. I ain't stopping, I'm walking. You can come walk with me if you want. Turns around and keeps walking. Nothing wrong with that. Nope. He's not committing a crime. It's a consensual encounter. You don't have to talk to cops if you don't want to talk to cops. Keeps walking. She unholsters her handgun. And she's walking through the park like this with her handgun. Who do you think is really the scary person in this park?
She is.
One is violating department policy.
So she's following him, and about where that bush is right there behind the basketball hoop, that big sort of cluster of trees, kind of like this right here.
The juniper.
The juniper, thank you. I'm not an arborist. I'm an abolitionist, but not an arborist. So right about there, she says something to him as well, and he turns around and he's like, he's telling her, I am not talking to you as long as you got that gun in your hand. Put your gun away. If you want to talk to me, you put your gun away. She said, I ain't gonna do that. No, whatever. They keep walking. The trail kind of, once it gets to this little grove of trees, makes a right, and it kind of starts coming back around here and then over here. So, but he says, so at one point, she essentially orders him to stop. He's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll stop when we get to the shade. I'll talk to you when we get into the shade. So he gets over here into the shade. We're going to do this walk for those of you that can. And I'll point everything out, sort of about all the steps and everything that we're taking. So he gets over here to the shade. Meanwhile, she's made a phone call, and she's even said on the radio that he's just walking. He's not hurting anybody, he's not threatening anybody, he's not breaking any laws, he's just walking, but he won't talk to me. Not a crime. So as soon as they get around this juniper, so the trail kind of curves over here to the right, and she kind of has to rush a little bit because she doesn't want to lose sight of him. So she kind of goes around, sees that he's gotten into the shaded area. She says, okay, you're in the shade, now will you talk to me? And he says, well, yeah, as soon as you put your gun away. And she's like, well, will you put your gun down? And it's on a sling. That'd be like asking me to take my gun off right now. I'm gonna have to, you know, move it around and all that kind of stuff. He's like, no, and he's on a single point sling. Anybody not know what a single point sling is? All right, so let me get, come here a second, little sir. Right. This is what's called a double point sling. So he's got the sling attached here to his rifle. He's got the sling attached here to his rifle. A single point sling is a sling that comes together and it's only attached at one point. So it's just kind of hanging there. The 2-point sling, that's a 2-point sling. I've got a 2-point sling. Pretty much everybody out here has a 2-point sling.
Over here.
CJ.
Is yours a 1-point?
CJ.
2-point?
CJ.
Oh, never mind.
There you go. There's a single point sling right there. In other words, a single point of contact between the sling and the firearm. So he's got a single point sling, and it's just hanging in front, perfectly legal. Whenever I'm carrying, if I'm carrying my rifle, I'll have it in front if I'm not carrying my sidearm, because this is my primary piece. This is my primary defense right here. But if I don't have this, my rifle is now my primary defense. So I have it in front of me because I need quick access to it. But if I don't need it for quick access, it's on my back because it's harder to access on my back. So he pulls over, so he tells her, he's like, well, I'll tell you what I can do. And he pulls his single point sling and he kind of tucks it under his arm on the opposite side. Tucks it under his arm, and he's like, how's that? I'll make sure it doesn't move, and it's kind of behind him a little bit, but he can't move it because he's got all this stuff on, all this gear. And he kind of moves it behind her, and she holsters her handgun. They start having a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
He's explaining to her. She's admitting and agreeing that she's not doing anything, that he's not doing anything wrong. I get it, it's constitutional carry. She's misquoting what the law is, but don't worry about it. She's like, you're not doing anything illegal. 3 other police officers show up. Males. They weren't there the whole time. They weren't there for the whole, I'm sorry, 2 males and a female. So it's a total of 2 females and 1 male. It doesn't really matter. I'm not giving gender for any reason. Just explaining who all's there.
Yeah, that's good.
But the lead officer, Officer Doss, is in charge of the scene because she's the one that witnessed the legal conduct that they're trying to criminalize, apparently. And they're talking, and these other officers come up, and then they start interjecting. They start escalating the situation. Doss and him are having a good conversation, but at one point, I think they're trying to get him to identify. He refuses to identify because he doesn't have to. And he's like, well, look, y'all need to know, this is a consensual encounter. I can leave anytime I want. She says, yeah, you can. What's the exact words, Ryan?
Yes, that's fine.
Yes, that's fine. Yes, that's fine. So what does he does? He says, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. So he's over there. He's pointing at the 7-Eleven. He says he drinks his last bit of Gatorade, Powerade, and he says, well, I'm going to go and refill this because I'm thirsty. You're free to walk with me. He starts walking. The people who showed up later, he was already stopped when they show up because they're pulling their cruisers driving through this. Show up later, he's like, no, stop. They start chasing him, pointing an AR-15 at his head. The other officer's got her pistol to his head. He says, I will fucking drop you, bitch. He's scared.
Yeah.
He's scared at this point, so he starts to try running. He's running away from the danger. And then he gets, the female officer that had arrived grabs him by the arm and tries to stick her gun to his head, and he grabs her wrist and is pushing her wrist away from his head. You can see it on the camera.
Yep.
He's holding it away from his, because he doesn't want to get shot.
No.
Murdered in cold blood.
Yep.
For doing absolutely nothing wrong.
Yep.
And they're doing this thing. You know, she's trying to shoot his ass. He's trying not to get shot. So one of the other officers comes up with his AR-15 and starts headbutting him with the back of his rifle right in his head, using the buttstock of his rifle, beating him in the head. They get him on the ground. The officer starts punching him in the. There's a young lady here.
You know what?
The sensitive parts.
Yes. For the male, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starts kicking him in the sensitive parts. And punching him in the citizen parts because when he falls, when they fall to the ground, his arm is underneath and his sling has come off and it's trapped. And again, this is all on video. His sling has trapped his arm underneath him, and you can see that, I mean, it's, you know, you can see it indented into his arm, that there's no way he can get his arm out from underneath him because they're all on top of him. The sling has come down and wrapped around his arm, and now his arm is stuck underneath him, and they're beating the shit out of him. Sorry, that's all I can call it. Twice they threatened to murder him. The officer says, I will fucking drop you, bitch. And the other one who says, I will put a bullet in your head. For what? For walking on this trail and daring to exercise his Second Amendment rights. Now, do you know what they charged him with? Anybody know?
Disorderly conduct.
Nope. Well, that's one of them. Disorderly conduct's one of them.
Assaulting a police officer?
Trying to remove
Not
a
assaulting a
gun.
police officer.
Trying to remove a gun.
Attempting to disarm a police officer. Attempting to take the police officer's arm. And their testimony is that when he's grabbing the arm, he's trying to get control of that pistol. Now, I don't know how you do that when your other arm is way over here and he's literally going like this. You know, he's got his arm, trying to get his arm in the air while he's got the cop's wrist over here. She's facing him. She's using her right hand, got the gun to his head. He grabs her wrist and pushes it away. She's trying to, so you see this pull and tug. Now the officer, or the state and the prosecutors, and their utter stupidity and ignorancy, who should lose their license, and the officers who should lose their license, I don't know, if somebody's pointing a gun at your head,
That's a threat.
and you're going like this, are you seriously pulling the gun to your head?
No, hell no.
Well, that's their argument in court. He was trying to pull the gun closer to him so he could take it. How's he gonna do that when he's got a police officer right here, the gun's over here, his hand's way over here, and it's doing this? Never once does it reach around, reach across, nothing like that. So, it boggles my mind. The biggest question between the jury is, what's the difference between control and access? Because they were trying to say that he had access or possession. I'm sorry, control and possession.
Control and take.
Take, that's it, take. Yeah, take. What's the difference between control and take? And they're trying to say that just by controlling the gun, that's evidence of him taking the gun. And that was a jury question. They wanted to know, like, what's the difference? There's no legal definition for control and take. It's pretty obvious what those words mean. Yeah, he wanted to control her arm, He never once tried to take that gun.
Isn't the intent of the law to go against people that are actually trying to remove it?
Yes.
So even if there's this semantics issue, the jury should have it in their head, you know, the law wasn't written for this situation.
Exactly.
That's jury nullification. They should say, no, that's crap.
Feedja.org.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to.
So he gets his ass kicked. He gets arrested. They end up, and now, by the way, keep in mind, I'm sure everybody's at least seen one police video where, you know, someone's trying to take the gun. But I can tell you from experience, anybody else here former law enforcement or combat veteran, anything like that, that, you know, if somebody's trying to take your gun, somebody's gonna say, especially a cop, he's trying to get my gun.
Yeah.
He's trying to get my gun. Or
Exactly.
he's got his hands on my gun. Or he's got his hands on her gun. He's trying to take her gun. None of that was ever vocalized. They realized that they screwed up, and they invented this felony charge of attempting to take a peace officer's weapon. That's where we are today. Again, we got a hung jury because, I'll just say it, juries are stupid. I have a conviction on my record because juries are stupid. It's a Class B misdemeanor of interference, but I was doing nothing wrong. Y'all remember the story of me hiking with my son back in 2013. Went through 2 trials. First one was a hung jury. Second trial was more corrupt than the first, and they made sure that the jury panel was aware of that, and got a conviction for hiking with my son and daring to stand up for my own rights. So we're here today to support Chad, and also to let Rockwall County know that if you let these little things happen, just because you don't like it, you don't have to like the fact that somebody's carrying a rifle. I mean, the reason I was down at 7-Eleven for so long was a gentleman got out of his car, approached me and said, is there any reason why are you carrying an AK-47?
Oh my God.
And I said, well, I'm here for the rally. We're having an open carry rally over there. Yeah, but why you got an AK-47? Because I'm here for an open carry rally. And well, what's this open carry rally about? I said, well, we're here in support of, and I told him the story. And he's like, well, what was he doing? I said, he's just carrying his gun. Let me guess, some Karen called it, yes. Oh, okay, I get it now. So he changed his attitude. But it should not be when a person is clearly not a problem. And I don't care if you like it or not, because he tried to talk about the whole, I keep my gun concealed, I don't want anybody to know I got it. Oh, you know, it's, I want the element of surprise, you know, that kind of stupidity that the NRA has pushed. And, but thankfully I was able to sit down and have a conversation with him. If we allow or support police action, you don't have to support what Chad did that day. I mean, you don't, there's a reason that we don't walk around in Target anymore with our rifles or Starbucks or any of that. We did it for a purpose. That was to get open carry of handguns passed. And, you know, to make the point that, hey, look, I can carry this big ass rifle anywhere I want. But if you see my gun, I'm a criminal. And that was the whole point of doing that back then. But now I don't have to do that, right? And quite frankly, I don't think it's necessary. You know, they're going through what we went through in 2013. Florida is now in 2013.
Yeah.
They're going through the same thing, and they're having the same stupid ass arguments we had here in Texas about carrying rifles. And it's going to happen for a few months, and there's going to be debates, and they're going to talk about legislation, and they're going to say what's right and what's wrong, and where you should and shouldn't carry a gun. But the fact of the matter is, it's legal, it's constitutional, they're not hurting anybody.
Yep.
And whether you like it or not, we have to support the ability of people to do it. You know, I went through trial down in Aransas Pass this week because I said fuck too many times at a city council meeting. I got charged with a crime.
Oh shit. Heavens.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And
Well, fuck.
yeah. And you know, one of the things I told and we had a good judge. I will be honest with you. I had a good judge. He knew this was a BS charge. And throughout the whole process, he kept telling the state, are you sure you want to do this? You know, are you sure you want to keep going forward with this case? He knew it was bogus, but there wasn't a legal reason, a reason based on law, that he was able to get rid of the case, because there were some fact issues that needed to be resolved. And only a jury can determine fact issues in a case. But he tried, and then I remember at one point, you know, literally the jury, they come back for the first time and said they're deadlocked in my case. And we don't know what the numbers are. We just know they can't agree on guilty or not guilty. So I don't know if it's 5-1 against me or 5-1 for me. And so he asks him again, he's like, is there any deal y'all can make? And I said, Judge, I will spend the rest of my life in jail defending the First Amendment. I am not taking a plea deal.
Nope.
If I have to go to jail for 6 months, I'll get out and I'll go tell that city council fuck themselves again, and I'll spend another 6 months in jail. Because that's what I believe in. My oath is not only a lifelong oath to the Constitution, but it's also one that I'm willing to put my life on the line for. The only way you're going to shut me up, the only way you're going to stop me from carrying a gun is to kill me. Literally, to kill me. Because if I'm in a wheelchair, I'm freaking setting up miniguns on my wheelchair. Yeah.
Gary Hayes at the Capitol.
If I yeah, exactly. If I've got crutches I got to use, you better believe that they're going to be detachable crutches and probably have some hidden barrels inside of them.
What about cane?
Cane, same thing. So, I mean, you literally will have to kill me to keep me from defending the Second Amendment, even if I disagree with you. And I told the jury the same thing. I told the jury, I said, I probably agree with all you guys. And this is what I kind of wish they would have said. And I don't know what was said at closing arguments because we had to go. I wasn't able to be there. We had another hearing somewhere else, so I wasn't able to see closing arguments in the Chad Summers case. But what I would have said is, you don't have to agree. As a matter of fact, I can agree with you that is there really a reason necessarily to carry a gun into a park with a bunch of kids? And by the way, there weren't a bunch of kids here. No, not really. But you know what? I'll defend your right to do it all day long. And I'll even defend the police who get a phone call and show up to just ask questions. I'll defend that. Yeah, you can go and absolutely ask questions. Hey, what are you doing? But the minute that the guy says, I don't want to talk to you,
that's it. It's over.
That's it. It's over.
It's over.
It's over. Period. End. Stop. And if you don't stop, that's where my support of you as law enforcement ends. Because now you're violating his rights. So, what we're going to do now, if we could, is, so I'm going to kind of lead y'all, those of you that are able to, we'll just do one lap. We won't do the 2.5 that he did. We're not here to get exercise. And here's the other thing, you know, it's funny because he, you know, the cops asked him, like, why are you carrying this? And he's like, I'm fat. I'm getting exercise. You know, I mean, this is just as good as, and just as valid as somebody who is getting exercise and they're wearing a weighted vest. Just because my weighted vest is in the shape of an AK-47 or body armor doesn't make it any less legal or illegal or any more illegal. So
exercise your body and your rights.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exercise your body and exercise your rights. So we're just going to do really quick. This will be the last thing that we're going to do. I again appreciate everybody coming out here. Really quick, I do want to introduce a few people that are here because everybody out here that's open carrying a handgun, these are some of the people responsible for making that happen. And if I missed you, I apologize. And I want you to say, hey, CJ, you missed me, you dumbass. All right? But Rick Briscoe is our vice president of Open Carry Texas.
Raise your hand, Rick.
And Rick,
The people know who you are.
Yeah. Now Rick is my mutt to his Jeff. All right? Because
we worked well together.
We worked well together.
Differences.
Because I'll tell you, I'm a bit out of control, aren't I, Rick? Sometimes.
I've occasionally suggested that you take it a little easier.
Rick is my voice of reason. You know how everybody's got a little, you know, the angel and the devil on his shoulders. He's my angel. He's the one saying, CJ, do you really want to say that? Do you really want to do that? Hey, you might want to take this down, and here's why. You know, you might not want to post that.
And I want to tell you, CJ was physically assaulted in the Capitol by some hired muscles from the MAGA.
Yep.
And he's out there for you, all of us. Yeah.
Jonathan Garcia is also one of our board members, and he's also our medic. So whereas I went off to law school, he had a better head about him and went to medic school and decided to actually help people instead of become a part of the system. But so Jonathan's our medic.
It's a different part of the system.
Yeah. So he's also one of our board members. Eric Schaefer over here is a very early member of Open Carry Texas. In the Waco area, led one of our little local groups there in the Waco area. Where's Sean at? I lost you.
Hey.
Sean's been around since day one as well as one of our early members in Open Carry Texas throughout the state. I want to introduce Amy Teal. No. Yeah, Teal. I almost said, I thought I dead named you. Because you're married now, so you got a dead name.
I am married now, yes.
But Amy is, if you ever see pictures that have been stolen and shared all around of these boots with a, red, white, blue Texas boots with the gun on the boot or whatever, that's her. That's her.
Also,
But
don't forget the bubble gum being
I was
arrested
gonna say,
picture.
there's also a point. This is why I love this woman so much. Not in that way. I just love her as a patriot. But we were at the Capitol. I can't remember what it was we were arguing, or we were there for. Was it abortion?
It was a State Affairs Committee hearing, and they were not hearing an abortion bill that we wanted. An abolition of abortion bill.
Yeah. So she's there and she's just filming in the back, and a police officer comes up to her and says, "You can't film here," and essentially she says, "Get bent." And they try to take her out, but she sits down, and they end up dragging her out. And they're like, "Oh, stop resisting, stop resisting!" And she's like, "I'm not resisting. I'm simply not assisting."
Yep.
But on her way out, there's this great picture that I love. I really want to have it framed one day, and when we're in the Capitol, one of us, either you or me, we're gonna have that thing stuck in the. But a big giant bubble that she blows as she's got two cops that are dragging her on the ground out of the Capitol because she's filming. By the way, that was all thrown out. She got this big old bubble of, she's like, "I don't care." She's the same way I am. She's like the female version of CJ, or I'm the male version of Amy. I don't know.
Well, and just to interject, you guys have to know that during the court hearing for this, the Capitol DPS agent who was on the stand, Millie Thompson, asked her, "Why did you arrest Ms. Hedke?" That was my name at the time. Well, because the sign said no recording allowed. And she says, if the sign had said no blacks allowed, would you have enforced the sign? The officer did not say, "Of course not." She said, "I'd have to check with my superiors." 2018, this is not 1918, this is 2018. No blacks allowed, I'd have to check with my superiors.
And oh, by the way, house rules allow filming.
Brent McCain over here, another early member of Open Carry Texas. He's also a medic, works out on the oil rigs out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the ocean. Is what he does kind of for a living, but he's always been there, not only for Second Amendment, but also First Amendment type issues. Vaughn Arney over here, another, he's a retired military, feels the same way I do about that oath. That he's willing to die for that oath. And where are you out of? Houston? No, San Antonio or Houston?
Galveston County.
Galveston County area. So we got people from all over the place. Paul Estrada right now, I'm actually representing him in a free speech case where he's filming. And because I apologize, I don't see any old ladies here, so I'm not talking to anybody here, all right? I don't see any old ladies here, do I? You don't either, do you? I'm helping you. Anyway, there was this old lady that comes up while he's filming, and she gets all upset. "Ah, you're filming." He wasn't even filming her until she started getting into his face. Anyway, they charged him with felony not abuse of a minor. Exploitation of an elderly person. Why? Because he's got a YouTube that makes money, and he was filming her, and she didn't want to be filming. So we've got a civil case and a criminal case that's been pending now for over 4 years.
Oh my God.
And then way over there, you probably can't hear me, that's Otto the Watchdog. Say hi, Otto! Otto! Follow him on, he's a First Amendment guy too. He's out there respecting our First Amendment, or trying to defend our First Amendment rights. And, oh, by the way, my son.
He's like, wait, don't look at me.
Shout out your wife.
Shout out to my son. Without him, I wouldn't have video footage of that first fateful arrest. He was only 15 at the time.
14.
I thought you were 15.
27.
I can't even remember.
All right. Either way,
About that.
so he, you know, I wouldn't have that fateful video of that first day. But you can also blame him because it was his fault I was on that hike.
Yeah.
So,
Damn, Boy Scouts.
but that's actually a good thing because we wouldn't have open carry today if he didn't want to go on that hike.
Right.
So anyway, I love my son. I love my family. My wife, she's not here because she didn't want to see me get arrested. So she deals with a lot, but I want to thank her because every time I go somewhere, and Ryan, and I also want to introduce Ryan. So Ryan and I went to law school together. He's old enough to be my son, literally. But we were in the same law school class, and he lives in Maryland. He went to Maryland to practice law. I came to Texas to practice law. And I remember one day he's like, you know, hey CJ, I think he was just kind of probing. He's like, I'm thinking about coming to Texas because he saw that I was actually having fun and his life sucked. And
It's an oppressive state that I live in.
yeah, so I responded, I got a job for you. I mean, 2 weeks later, he put in his 2 weeks notice and he left.
Nice.
So once we get his license moved over, we're going from law offices of CJ Grisham to GFA because his last name is Francis China. So it's going to be GFA Law, Grisham, Francis China, Attorneys at Law. But really, GFA is going to stand for Great Fucking Attorneys. So, but don't tell anybody that. It's
It's a secret.
it's a secret. It's Grisham, Francis China, Attorneys.
Trade secret.
But anyway, we'll be able to do a lot more because, quite frankly, I mean, I turn down cases every single day because I'm just one person. I can't do it. And even the cases I do have, I've got clients who have to remind me. I mean, where's Roush at?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, he came up to me today. I didn't even recognize him, and he's my client. You know, so I've got so many, and I don't see them all because I go all over the state. I don't get to see them all the time. I talk to them all the time, you know, on the phone or via email or whatever. But thankfully, once Ryan gets licensed, I get to retire. No, I'm just kidding. But,
Surprise!
There'll be two of us. There'll be two of us that'll be doing what I'm doing. He's been shadowing me, going and watching how I do my hearings, watching how I do in trial, and I'm even going to say one more good thing about you before we walk. And so we're at my trial this week, and we're watching the video from the officer of me cursing or whatever. And we've got the city council woman up there, and young lady, block your ears.
Council people.
But I'm up there and I'm saying, so you know, I can say fuck, bitch, shit, cunt, whatever. And she's like, oh, Lord have mercy.
Clutching them pearls.
And so she testifies that he was looking right at me. He called me the C word, and he was looking right at me. And in my mind, I'm looking at me, what I'm doing, right? And I know what I'm doing because I'm doing just like what I do right now. When I address a jury, I address every member of the jury. When I address a crowd, I try to address every member of the crowd. When I'm addressing a city council, I'm addressing every member of the council. And that's what I'm doing when I'm saying these words. I'm looking back and forth, right? And at the time I said that word, I wasn't even looking at her. I was looking at the mayor. So if anybody, I was calling him a cunt. Ryan slips me this little note and he says, she wasn't even looking at you when you said that. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? So I pull up the video, I'm like, what do you know? So we get her on the stand and you testified I was looking right at you when I said that, didn't you? Yes. So I said, but I wasn't, you weren't even looking at me, were you? I was looking dead at you. Okay, let's go to the tape. So we pull up the tape again and I stop it right before I start saying those words. And I said, where are you looking? Down and to the left. And then so she's not looking at me at all, and I haven't said the words yet. And then I push play and I say the words. And then I push pause and I was like, where are you looking at? She's like, I'm still looking down left. You're not looking at me, are you? No. Do you have an eyeball in your right ear? Yes, that's a question I asked on the stand. She's like, excuse me? It's a simple question. Is there an eyeball in your right ear that helps you to see from the right side of your face? No. So when you told the jury that you were looking right at me, that was a lie, wasn't it? Anyway, so that was because of Ryan. He's the one that caught that. I didn't even catch that because I was looking at where I was looking. I knew I wasn't looking at her, but even if I was, she didn't know I wasn't looking at her. So anyway, that's
teamwork.
That's kind of what we're doing. And you know, if you ever need a First or Second Amendment attorney, that's the kind of fun we're going to have at your trial. because I just don't play the normal game. I mean, you know, my thoughts are this: these officers over here can go about assaulting and brutally beating a man for not doing anything wrong, and I'm supposed to be nice to them?
No, not at all.
We're supposed to treat them as if they're good people? No. Not only are you beating the man, but now you're trying to throw him in jail for 2 to 10 years for something that never happened. In a cage. Lifetime felon. No gun rights. No voting rights. All that kind of stuff. You want me to be nice to you? No. But too many attorneys, they want to play nice. And that's why there's so much corruption in Texas and around the country, because too many attorneys want to play nice. I'm not here to play nice. I'm here to play justice. I'm here to play with the Constitution and make sure it's followed. And I'm glad that you're all here for that same reason. And I want you to know I support you. And any of you that are able to and you're thinking about it, I was 46 years old when I went to law school. It's never too late. If it's something you're passionate about, do it. I don't care if it's law school, welding school, EMS school, whatever it is you want to do, it's never too late. Follow your passion. And it's never work as long as it's fun. So let's go ahead and do something fun, at least for some of us. Walking isn't really fun for some of us, but we'll just do a quick lap. I'll kind of go over exactly what happened and where, so that when the video comes out, you'll see, wow, CJ really did tell the truth. But there are a lot of people that think that they're not going to believe it. So, who are you to say whatever? Okay, well, find anywhere online where I've lied about anything. When I became an attorney, or not attorney, when I ran for office a while ago, the first thing I was running for city council as a protest candidate. I didn't knock doors, I didn't do anything, but I created a Facebook page, and the first post I put up was, "Hi, I'm CJ, I'm running for city council." And just so you know, I've been arrested 5 times, I've been convicted of this. I've got 2 suicide attempts that I tried to take my own life twice previously, most recently in 2013. I had a mental breakdown around that same time. I left my family. I told my wife I didn't love her anymore. I got a girlfriend. I tried to destroy everything in my life. Like, I listed out every skeleton, and I told my opponents, all right, come at me now let's talk about the issues now. I got all that stuff out of there. There's nothing in my life that I won't talk about, because that all shaped who I am today. And I'm not afraid of it. And so let's go do this walk real quick. Yes, sir.
A group picture afterwards or before?
Let's go ahead and do it before, because we might have some people drop off. This is really the end of the rally. We're just going to do the walk, and then I would highly recommend that you post something in support of Chad. Post something in support of Chad. And let him know that there are people here who support him. I did ask him initially not to be here because he is still facing that they're going to retry him again. So in January, we're going to be back in court.
We need a photographer.
Do you have an informal?
We do.
Otto doesn't have a
cut the
camera,
banner
right?
in front of the group.
Okay, we're gonna take the picture facing this way, so everybody face me. Is that we're gonna just kind of condense.
You want us to hold the banner?
Yeah, let's hold the banner up. Here, let me cut it.
Yeah.
You're gonna put the banner around this way. I'll go stand in the back.
We're gonna turn the banner around?
Yeah, turn the banner around. We're gonna take the picture this way.
Okay.
Here you go. Let me give you a phone here also. Thank you, sir. If I get out my knees, you won't see me.
Scooch up.
Where am I looking?
Scooch up.
Get tight.
Looks like you took it.
It's flashing.
All right, nobody here's on the wanted list, right?
Oops.
Okay.
No,
But you are now. Oh yeah, this will be late. You are now.
You are now. Welcome. If you need a copy, let me know.
All right.
Yep.
I'll probably have one.
I don't know. I might have one of those almost pocket horns.
Okay.
Awesome.
I hope that works.
Thank you.
All right, let's do this walk real quick and get out of the sun.
CJ.
Thank you, CJ. It's a great job.
Thank you very much, sir. I don't know whose other phone did autograph.
Do. All right. I guess we'll cut that.
I'm just gonna mark